Hi there and welcome to another session of accountancy with me, Vishwanath sir, for the 12th standard. We have done a lot of topics about accounts and how to go about doing accounts, especially the financial part of it, where we came up to the different tools. And now we come to a very important tool which is known as your accounting ratios. And these ratios will help you a lot in analyzing what is the actual position of a particular organization or a company. And this will help you to invest in a company or to take certain decisions if you are a part of the company, okay? And that will help you in your future and the growth of the company and the decisions in which you take, okay? So this chapter is accounting ratios, where in this chapter you will learn what is the meaning of the word ratio and accounting ratio, what is the meaning of ratio analysis, what are the advantages and the objectives, what are the limitations, and of course what are the different types of ratios, the classification where we have liquidity, solvency, activity and profitability ratios. So we shall learn about all these ratios and go about finding some new depths into accounts. Fine. So let us understand what is the meaning of the word ratio. When we deal with ratio in maths, basically we have a relationship between two interdependent or related items. Okay, like for example, liters of milk. So you are comparing liters of milk with liters of milk. So they are two related items. Okay, the weight of a particular object, that also you are trying to compare with the weight of another object. So both are there either in grams or kg. So it becomes easier for us to calculate. So this ratios, when you convert it into accounting information, is known as accounting ratios. Okay, the term ratio is basically used, we use the balance sheet, the profit and loss account, and find out important terms and important results out of this. Okay, now how do you express a ratio? That's the most important thing. What are the expressions of a ratio? First is a pure ratio. Say for example, we have a current ratio. The formula of the current ratio is current assets upon current liabilities. Just assume your current assets is 30 and your current liability is 15. So a pure ratio is 30 upon 15, which is nothing but 2:1, okay, which can be expressed as 2 or 2:1. That is 15 ones are and 15 twos are. So that is a pure ratio. Then we come to a percentage. Percentage basically means you divide two particular related items. For example, let's take a net profit ratio. So that is net profit upon net sales, that is revenue from operation is another word for net sales, and you multiply it by 100. So that is your percentage ratio. Then you have got times. This is basically used whenever we are finding certain things like turnover, okay, the average payables, the average receivables, and finally you have the fraction. Earlier we wrote 2:1. Okay, 2:1, so it comes out to be 2. Say if the fraction comes out 3:4, so you can write it down as 3:4, or you can write it down as 0.75, but 0.75 would be the decimal, so you leave it at the fraction 3/4. Okay, so the expression of a ratio is divided into one: pure ratio, percentage, times and fraction. Okay, so this is your expression of a ratio. Now let us understand the meaning of the word ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is basically a study of relationship amongst various financial factors in a business. Amongst various financial factors in a business. Now let us understand what are the objectives of ratio analysis. Why are we doing this? Why are we breaking our head? Why are we trying to analyze certain things? Why are we trying to forecast certain things? Okay, the first objective is to simplify the accounting information. See, there is a lot of accounting information, but when it comes down to the understanding and putting it forward, we require some clear terms, and these terms are put forward in your accounting information. Secondly, to determine the liquidity. There are two liquidities. One is the short-term solvency and the long-term solvency. The short-term solvency means how quickly you can pay your money in the short term, that is within a year, and the long-term solvency is the ability of the firm to pay its long-term loans like debentures or a bank loan which is taken for more than 2 years. Okay, then the third is to assess the operating efficiency of the business. How good is the business? How well is it doing? Okay, is it worthwhile continuing the business, or is it better to close down because it has started making losses? So we have to understand what is the operating efficiency, how well it is operating under certain circumstances. Then we come to analyze the profitability of the company. Okay, so this is also a very important objective of the ratio analysis, where you find out what is the profitability. And thirdly, and lastly, we have a comparative analysis. You can have an inter-firm comparison and you can have an intra-firm comparison also. Okay, so these are the objectives of ratio analysis. Just repeating them again. One, to simplify the accounting information. Second, to determine the liquidity. As I told you, there are two liquidities, short-term and the long-term solvency. Then you have got what to assess in the operating efficiency. Then what to analyze the profitability of the business, and then lastly to help in comparative analysis, that is inter-firm and intra-firm. So these are the objectives of ratio analysis. Okay, going a little bit further, let us understand what is the advantages of ratio analysis. Number one, it is a very, very useful tool for analysis of financial statements. So you can find out a lot of things. Bankers, investors, creditors all analyze the balance sheet and the profit and loss using ratios. Okay. Secondly, it simplifies the accounting data. Okay. Accounting data is put down in a very methodical manner, and from that methodical manner we get some methodical information. So financial ratios are very useful because they are brief summaries and you at once come to know what is the position of the company. Thirdly, it is used to assess the operating efficiency of the business, how well it is doing under certain circumstances, how well it is doing in comparison with the other organizations. It is also used for forecasting. Forecasting is a very important tool because in the future when we take certain decisions, it will help us find out what is our position in the market and how well we can go further. So for this, ratios are very important. Then also it is useful for locating the weak areas. Whenever there is some problem in the company, the weak areas is always analyzed. The weak areas it might affect the overall performance. So it is better you take results at once and pay attention to the weakness and take remedial action. So that is useful in locating the weak areas. Also it is very useful for inter-firm and intra-firm comparisons. Okay, fine. From here we go to what is the limitations of ratio analysis. Okay, first is it can give you a false results because the analysis depends upon the correctness. Secondly, the qualitative factors are ignored. Thirdly, there is a lack of standard ratio. Fourthly, may not be comparable. Fifthly, the price level changes are not taken into consideration, so it will not give you the correctness. Window dressing, sometimes you put the wrong thing in the wrong place, it will give you the wrong ratio and you will interpret it in a wrong way. And finally, there will be personal bias. Okay, so whatever you are doing, Okay, you have to do it in a correct way. You shouldn't get your ideas into the picture. Follow a particular format which is followed by everyone. Okay, so these are the limitations of ratio analysis. One, it's false results. Second is the qualitative factors are ignored. There is a lack of standard ratio. You cannot actually set a standard ratio anywhere. It may not be comparable. Some certain things, price levels are not taken into consideration. There is window dressing done sometimes, so this will be misleading and it will conceal vital facts. And finally, personal bias, it should be free from this particular limitations. So I stop here with the limitations of ratio analysis. Thank you so much. This is Vishwanath sir signing off.